Moore.
Here.
O'Kane.
Here.
Shaner. Here. Scott.
Here.
Waters.
Here.
Can we stand for a moment of silent prayer followed by the Pledge of Allegiance? Amen. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Craig, you want to bring your group up?
Sorry. Perfect. Thank you.
Got a proclamation that reads, whereas National Apprenticeship Week is celebrating its 9th anniversary of raising awareness of the vital role registered apprenticeship provide in creating opportunities by allowing apprentices to earn while they learn and preparing a pathway to good quality jobs and well-paying careers in Sioux City and across the nation. And whereas Sioux City recognizes the role of the registered apprenticeship and affiliated labor organizations and employers in expanding opportunities in our workforce that are inclusive of individuals who have been historically underserved, marginalized, and adversely affected by persistent poverty and inequality, thus providing a path for all qualified individuals, including women, youth, people of color, veterans, rural communities, and justice-involved individuals to become apprentices and contribute to the American industries. Now, therefore, I, Robert E. Scott, Mayor of the City of Sioux City, Iowa, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim November 13th to the 19th as National Apprenticeship Week in Sioux City. I'd like to present this to you guys. Thank you all for coming, and certainly thank you for what you do to make the city better, and say a few words if you would.
Very much appreciate it. It's a great time to get an apprenticeship. We're all taking record numbers in this year. IBW has over 100 apprentices. All the other ones have more than that. Great time to have opportunities. Anybody else want a question? Thanks.
I used to teach apprenticeship for the plumbers, and I want you to know that everybody that came through there, most of them stayed, but the ones that stayed with us, making a good living, supporting families, they got all kinds of benefits, health care, insurance. It's really a good deal for the young kids, and we'll take anybody, you know, anybody that's interested, just let Dean know, and we'll try to help them out as much as we can. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
You bet.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Oh, one other thing, Building Trades is having an open house December 5th at WW Junior Hall. You should all be getting an invite. Hope to see you all there. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Keep it up.
See you guys.
Good work. Next, we're going to go to Brad Pitts. Where's Brad at? I thought this was going to say like world champion fisherman or hunter, but it's, huh?
No, not
That's
today,
coming
I guess.
later?
Yeah.
Okay. Congratulations to Brad Pitts for Utility Director. He recently won the George Warren Fuller Award. The award is presented annually by the American Water Works Association to an individual who has distinguished service in the water supply field in commemoration of the sound engineering skill, brilliant diplomatic talent, and constructive leadership would characterize the life of George Warren Fuller. Congratulations, buddy. Good
Thank
job.
you. I appreciate it.
No doubt.
Say a few words.
Yeah, it's been 20 years since Rick Mock allowed me to get a job with the city of Sioux City, and I appreciate everybody allowing me the time with the city to work with the American Water Works Association for the state. And it's a great thing for a good organization. I'm not as involved as I used to be, but I'm still on a few boards and chair of Region 3. So I appreciate the city of Sioux City allowing me to do that, and I owe a big thank you to the city. So I appreciate it.
Good
Well,
job. Thanks,
to
Mike.
get where you are
Thank
with
you.
a Briar Cliff degree, that's great.
Way to go.
Congratulations, buddy. Congrats.
Just remember, Brad, not everybody can afford a Morningside degree.
Yeah.
Environmental Advisory Board, Sarah Nelson. Sarah, come up and tell us why you want to continue to serve.
We have these.
Hi. Just want to continue to serve because I love doing it.
Doing a
I
good
think it's
job.
important, so,
Yeah, it shows too.
thank you.
You love it. Yeah, you're doing a good job.
Thank you.
And I think we're on a good path. I mean, I think we have some things that we're really working on, and obviously recycling and the change to every other week that we're analyzing and really trying to find the best path forward. But I know and I think other members of the council really appreciate what the commission is doing on so many different levels.
Right.
So thank
I
you.
think we need more money for the re-event advertising. I don't know if that is anything that y'all can work on, but with the re-event, that's what people were complaining the most about, is that they didn't know
Didn't
it
know
moved
about it, or-
locations. So,
Oh, so they didn't know about the location change,
Right.
so then. I
correct.
gotcha.
Okay.
And Matthew is the only one that I have seen actually support our social media on this city council, so thank you, Matthew.
You're welcome.
So if you guys could get on and like or comment, anything
Yeah.
helps get
Do
the
you think-
awareness
I was
out.
curious about the location.
gonna
'cause
say, I should-
I like the idea of hosting the re-event out at the community center, because so few residents ever make the trip out there or know what you can dispose of out there. So do you think that with more advertising, we'd be more successful? Do you like having it out there? Do you think it's easier to coordinate out there?
I think it's more practical and efficient. And I think what people don't understand is that they can take more out there, like mattresses
Yeah.
and household hazardous materials, where we couldn't do that at the Long Lanes location. But we got to work out our kinks yet, because that was the first year we did it. So there's some directional signage that we need to put up there, and I think it'll be good. And I've heard, and I don't know if this is true, that they're going to pave that area so it's not gravel. A lot of people were not happy about that either.
About the gravel, yeah. You gotta watch the rainy days.
Yeah, so, but other than that, yeah, it was good. I
Well,
think it's a
thank you for
good,
helping to organize that. I mean, even when we have it in the Tyson, it seems like it's just a whole lot of chaos. And then I'm surprised when I go through the line, how smooth it ends up being.
great.
And just the feat of organizing that for our entire community is no easy task by any means. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I found out something today because somebody asked me, and we need to, when we're doing more advertising, you can still take tree and grass clippings out there for free if you're a Sioux City
Right.
resident. Because I had a guy that was going to take it out to his daughter's farm and burn it, and I said, you don't have to do that, it's free yet in Sioux City. And I thought it was, but I did confirm that, so.
As long as you're
Sioux City.
a resident and not a business.
Right, yep.
And though I think they cut it off this last year, but they'll load you up with compost for free too. If
Really?
they've got somebody, that's how all of my raised beds were filled, was compost from the dump for free. Yep.
Well, thank you for your
thank you.
service.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
thank you.
Thank you.
David Hallis, Museum Board of Trustees.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Good to see you, and thank you for your service. I am applying to renew my 3-year term. I've served on the Board of Trustees of the Public Museum for 3 years. I currently serve as the Vice Chair. It's been a privilege to serve. As you know, it's a valued, most valued institution in our community, and the board always appreciates the support of the council. So I'm ready to serve another 3 years.
We appreciate the support of the Board of Trustees as well, and I'm glad you reapplied. And I did carry your message to the person that you asked me to deliver it to.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
I fulfilled that request.
You ever see my friend in church?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good.
Public record.
All right.
Thanks, David.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
Very much.
Mr. Brenzo.
Yes, I'm applying, I guess, to extend my next term on the Parks and Recs Advisory Board. So I've been extremely impressed with Matt and his staff over this last 3 years. They're very creative, they think out of the box, they solve problems. And I've tried to bring a perspective from seniors and adults, and I think we've been able to do some things. I'm at long lines every single morning from 8 to 11. We've got 77 people who have purchased yearly passes to play there, play pickleball there every morning, so that's up from about 50 2 years ago. I'm very supportive of Matt and his team who have recommended that we extend the lease of the Explorers. I think that's a very, very wonderful thing for seniors and adults in the city. And so I'm looking forward to trying to help them this next 3 years.
Sounds good.
For all good reasons.
I've got a hard-hitting question. Yeah. And there's no right answer to this one. I just want your outside-of-the-box thoughts. What do you think the future of Cook Park looks like?
Cone Park?
Cook Park.
Oh, Cook Park. I think that's a huge problem. I don't know. I guess they have to shut the bathrooms. There's a lot of illegal things going on after the 11 o'clock at night. It doesn't seem like there's a great deal of enforcement. I know that I understood that Matt was trying to budget a ranger to maybe try to enforce things there, but I think it's a huge problem. And I'm not an expert in how to deal with homeless or the folks that are there causing the problems, but at our luncheon that we had not a couple weeks ago with you guys, I mean, the evidence was clear that that's a huge, huge problem.
Yeah, you know, a lot of cities that are a lot bigger than us have transit police, park police. My fear is, and I'm not going to be bashful about it, my fear is that giving more police to the police department when they already have so many problems filling the vacancies, that they'll just move them to an area of, and they won't get the protection out of the parks. I think you actually need a park police, 4 or 5 police officers in parks, just
Probably, yeah.
and I'm sorry, they can't be part of the police department, because we've seen in traffic enforcement, and you can't blame the chief, it's not his fault. It's just a fact of life, is when you're down 9 or 10, 12 officers for sick leave, military leave, being involved in a shooting incident, all those sort of things really cut the manpower. So, but they've got to have the same arresting authority and everything else, and be able to carry guns and all that sort of stuff that regular police can do.
Right.
So,
Right.
all right. Well,
Thanks for your service,
Appreciate it.
Frank.
Thank you.
Sioux City Regional Convention and Visitors Bureau Council update. I know we don't have the money for it, Bob, but at least I get that. I want the Journal to get that, but it's still something that needs to be looked at.
Well, the consistent theme has been enforced on a lot of our issues, not just this one. It always comes down to enforcement.
Hello, my name is Christy Franz. I'm the Executive Director of Explore Sioux City, which is a Sioux City Regional Convention and Visitors Bureau. A little bit about us. Are, like I said, the Sioux City Regional Convention and Visitors Bureau, and we serve as the official destination marketing organization for the Siouxland region. Our mission is as the official destination marketing organization for the Tri-State area, we work to showcase our communities for visitors and residents as they explore everything that Siouxland has to offer. A little bit about, since I've been here last, we have expanded our team. I've been in my role for a little over 2 years, and then we hired Ward as our Director of Sports Tourism, and he also works with the Sioux City Sports Commission. His past experience has been as a Legislative Affairs Director for the Independence Chamber of Commerce. Previous to that, he was Director of the Missouri State Division of Tourism, and then prior to that, he was the Chief of Staff for the Office of the Missouri Lieutenant Governor, and then a state representative for 8 years in the state of Missouri before moving to Iowa. Kristen Heimgardner, she was hired in April, and she is the Destination Experience Manager, so she is with anybody that's coming to town. She's working on sales to try to get going to trade shows and things like that to bring more events and groups into the Siouxland area. She was an early graduate of Iowa State University with a bachelor's degree of science and event management. She has already, since joining our team, been certified as a professional in destination management through Destinations International, which is a pretty big deal. She did that, I think, in her first month and a half, so that was awesome. So she really jumping in with both feet. She's a member of Siouxland Go, and then she's also participating in the leadership Siouxland program this year. So now we'll get to the fun stuff. So obviously, Sioux City is open and welcoming visitors. Our visitor totals increased last year 7%. So for total visitors, people from outside of the 50-mile radius that are considered visitors, we had 1,342,568 people come into Siouxland in this last year. In previous years, that number was a little bit higher. Post-COVID, people were not looking to travel to big cities, and they were looking, for more regional destinations. This last year, people have decided that they want to go and probably go experience those bigger city amenities and things like that. But a 7% increase is still a pretty good increase for that year. 53% of our visitors spend at least one night here, which is important because then we're getting that lodging tax, and then they're probably eating, shopping, doing all the things that add money to our community. Our top designated marketing areas are Omaha, and then Sioux Falls, Des Moines, Lincoln, Minneapolis, Cedar Rapids, Kansas City, Chicago, and Denver. And I'm guessing the last two are because of the flights that come in and out of the Sioux City Regional Airport. So that does help us. Our lodging. So our occupancy rate increased 4.4%. And so our occupancy rate for the total year was 57.9%. Our average daily rate went up by 9.9% to $104.46 a night. Our revenue per available room increased. The average daily rate increased 9.9%. The revenue per available room increased 14.7%, $60.42, and that was all while the number of available rooms decreased by 7.8%. So in the 10 years that the state provides data for the hotel motel tax collections, the fiscal year 2023 was the highest that Sioux City has seen in these last 10 years of reporting. So you can see kind of on that graph where the CVB got active and started mobilizing and hiring staff and doing the things that we really need to be doing. And so you can see that, by having a strong Convention Visitors Bureau, those lodging tax numbers increased greatly. This last year, we did add 2 new lodging partners, the Avid Hotel and the Hilton Garden Inn. We did previously have more hotel partners than we currently have. Any hotel that has that flies or are part of the Wyndham Group, they had to pause their partnership due to corporate litigation at the Wyndham level, not anything to do with the local hotels or anything, but it was at that corporate level. So they've had to pause any partnership as of collecting that destination marketing fee across the board for Wyndhams across the country. And then several owners that had non-Wyndham properties, that did not, were not able to continue partnerships were because they had a Wyndham property and another property. So from what I understand, that litigation at that corporate level is wrapping up. So hopefully we will be able to add another, 7 hotels back onto our partnerships. And we are constantly working to add partners around the Siouxland area to that role. This is an example of some of the events that we helped support this year. When I first got here in August of 2021, I was told by many people to make sure that RAGBRAI, the 50th anniversary, would start in Sioux City. And so worked really, really hard with the Chamber of Commerce. We had to work with the county to change some zoning ordinances to be able to have roadside sales in unincorporated Woodbury County, because last year that was a problem where there couldn't be any sales on those roads, and the People from Ragbri last year were very adamant that they would not start in Sioux City unless that ordinance was changed. So our partnership with the chamber and going and petitioning Woodbury County Board of Supervisors and explaining the economic impacts of that, we were able to get that ordinance changed. And that is it doesn't have a sunset, that ordinance, and it's only for Ragbri. So it is in perpetuity that we will be able to, they'll be able to do that. Although I think that most of us would be okay if Ragbri did not come back in the next year or two. But besides that, we were really glad that we were able to get that changed. The total economic impact of the events that I had listed and several other events was a total of $35 million of total economic impact for the investment. And so that's a pretty good bang for your buck when you're looking at the direct impact, at businesses where visitors purchase services or goods, that indirect impact, which is the supply chain and bringing those goods into the community to sell, and then that induced impact that comes from employees, taxes, wages, and things like that stay in our community. So, so that was a $35 million total economic impact. I think last year it was about $15 million in total economic impact. So we've made huge progress as far as that's concerned. We have been attending different trade shows, recruiting new events and groups. We attended the Connect Marketplace. We had a specialty track, which would be like reunions and events like that. And then we had a sports track. And just as an example, when we attended that marketplace, it's the biggest one in the country, that last year we did an association track and we had no requests for appointments, and then we had 22 appointments. This year we did the specialty track and we had 7 requests and 32 appointments. And on the sports side, we had 5 requests and 25 appointments. So people are starting to recognize who we are, because most of the time people don't want to meet with you unless they know who you are. You have to have a relationship, and just being able to build those relationships with people outside of in these groups that are looking for destinations to bring their events to. We are making some pretty good headway there. Also attended the Teams Conference, which is a sports event. We did that as part of a partnership with Iowa Travel Industry Partners. We did a Connect Midwest trade show, which specifically deals with the Midwest. We did American Bus Association, and then Sports ETA was another sports track. And then this year we added the Midwest Travel Network, and we are actually trying to get that event here in the next 2 years. So that brings travel writers from across the Midwest to your community to showcase, and then that gives them a reason that they would want to come back and write stories and just create some content for us. So that's good. That's a positive. This year, we have decided, just listening to requests from the community and the Events Facility Tourism Advisory Board, how people have been clamoring for a true community calendar of events. So we are totally redesigning our website with an integrated calendar of events that will be able to merge events like our calendars with downtown partners and different places. So it'll be one place for people to go look for that information, be kind of a one-stop shop. So the wireframes for those have already been completed, and we anticipate a January 2024 launch of that. So we're really excited about that. Now that we have a director of sports tourism, and because of the requirement by the Iowa Economic Development requiring that to participate in the Regional Sports Authority grant program, the sports missions must be part of a CVB, which is a requirement of that grant. So This year, in previous years, that grant has been $50,000. This year, that grant dollar total went up to $70,000 per destination. And it's my understanding that the city of Des Moines did not qualify this year. So I don't know what they will do with those remaining dollars that usually were allocated, because they give it out to 10 destinations, and I think they only did it, gave money to 9 destinations. So we're hoping that those dollars that are left over will be dispersed between the other 9 destinations. So fingers crossed on that one. So they'll
Hear that, Teresa? There might be more money coming in.
So we're just waiting for the check that IEDA sends us, that they had been sending to the city, so we can start allocating those funds for the NAIA tournament, which is later this month.
Great.
We will probably be doing some little tweaks and changes with the Sports Commission just to align with the CVB mission and to be competitive with other Iowa destinations, but more information will come up after that, probably after the new year. These are some of the memberships that we have currently with the historic Route 20 Coalition, Iowa Society of Association Executive, Iowa Travel Industry Partners, the Meeting Planners International Heartland Chapter. With the Iowa Travel Industry Partners, we have staff that serve on the board of directors. We have 1 staff member, an advocacy chair, committee chair, and then a development committee chair. And then additional memberships that include subscriptions would be CVent. CVent is a database for requests for proposals, so we're able to go in there and search for planners that are looking for destinations like ours that we fit for, and then they can search us that way too. There's a general listing, and then but we pay for an elevated listing, so we pop up before other people do. The Destinations International, we also subscribe to their economic impact calculator. That impact calculator was developed in partnership with Tourism Economics, which is an Oxford economics company. And that calculator measures the economic value of an event and calculates its return on investment for local taxes. And so they use 10 different data sources to combine that information. Currently, the subscriptions that we hold with that are for meetings, sporting events, festivals, and cultural events, local and public events. So if there's an event that you're interested in knowing what the economic impact of that particular event would be, there's just some information that we would need to get from you to be able to put that in that economic event calculator, and then be able to give you those numbers. And then with Huddle Up Group, that is through a partnership with Iowa Travel Industry Partners, and that's a database for sporting event RFPs. And then the last is Smith Travel Research, which provides benchmarking data for our hotels. So that's how we can tell the occupancy and revenue per available room and things like that. So that gives us a lot of really good information. So when we are making our decisions on where we want to do our marketing, we're able to choose well. Some of the marketing and communications that we have done over this last year, Off the Beaten Path was a video. You can see that on our website. We've done some cooperative marketing with the state of Iowa, with print opportunities, and then streaming ads, influencer marketing, and social media. And that was all through the state of Iowa, Travel Iowa. And then we have a new travel platform that we partner with called Sherpa, and they're digital media collaborators that come into your community and write stories. They write blog posts. They'll put information on their social platforms, and then we have the rights to use all the photos and videos and everything that they provide. We own the content of that. So we're able to share that with our partners, and then I think we've already had 8 of those in town. So we're able to create itineraries and things like that for people who are interested in coming to town. And then the last thing that we just rolled out was, it's called Mobile Fuse, and it's mobile retargeting. So hopefully this link will work. And it did. So what it does is we are currently geo-targeting Musketeer away games. And so when somebody is on their phone, whatever arena that they're attending this event at, they will be served up with the ad content with that banner on the top. And so if somebody clicks on that, they're going to, it takes them to this screen and it's like, come back to Sioux City, you know, this is one for Cedar Rapids. Gives them an opportunity to buy tickets, and then it takes them to our website where they can find places to eat, places to stay, and what they can do when they're in town. So it's really promoting our community, by just serving up content and getting people interested in Sioux City, and then coming back to watch the Musketeers play their team. So any of the away games we're playing, we're using that platform. And then in the years to come, we'll, you know, probably do that. Well, I'm not sure if we'll do it with the Bandits, since they've changed leagues, and it's a little harder to serve content in Florida to get here for a game. But, you know, we'll look at that, and then, you know, for possibly the Explorers, and then the new United soccer team. So we'll look at the results and see how well this does, and then we'll be able to make decisions from there what the return on that investment will be. But it's kind of a fun thing because you can buy tickets directly from being served this content on your cell phone. Let's see. And then our next is our our media plan that we have come up with. We've been using Google search ads. We've also been using digital radio ads, social media ads and retargeting, and then programmatic content sequencing, which uses a sequence of ads to tell a story that will drive people back to our website to try to get them to come to town. We have created some new collateral. We've got new profile sheets that we're taking with us to those trade shows. And then we created a pocket map for RAGBRAI. We had those just so they were easily accessible to people, you know, that were trying to carry things around when they were on their bicycles. That included the map that we had created last year. And then we also, in a collaboration with the Iowa Travel Guide, we're on page 2. We're not on the inside cover, but we are on page 2, and it's a full-page ad. And I do have copies of the Iowa Visitor Guide that does have stories about Sioux City in it, but then you can see our beautiful ad with the QR code that will take people directly to our website. This is, for me, one of the biggest things that I'm the most excited about is that we will be producing our own official visitor guide through Explore Sioux City. So it will serve not only visitors that are coming out of town, but it'll be for residents that are looking for things to do, et cetera. Since this is our first edition, it was important to me to highlight how Sioux City, you know, got its start and how many different cultures of people who have come to Sioux City over the years. It's not, and you know, it started, my great-grandparents immigrated here from Sweden in the late 1800s, and so that's just a little piece of that. And then you look at, you know, all the people that are coming to Sioux City now, all the ethnicities that you can see, that you're not going to find that in every Iowa city or every Midwestern city. We're very unique, so we really want to focus on that. So we're working with the Sioux City Public Museum to get them to write the content for that article, so we make sure everything is right and engaging and getting people to want to come to Siouxland.
What's your target for that, out of curiosity? When do you,
Visitor guide?
Yep, to have a print, like a print copy.
We'll send those out to welcome centers. We get, with our partnership with the state, we get requests once a week for 10 to 20 visitor guides that we mail out to people from across the country, sometimes across the world. We are not printing a ton of guides because people really are looking for more digital, but our guides will be mobile enabled, so people will be able to pull them up on tablets and cell phones.
I would imagine working with the hotel partners to like maybe have the QR code or something at the front desk that will take them to the website or something like that.
Right.
So Mr. Moore and I had a conversation with Cindy Brewer, who was this year's Volunteer of the Year, just last Friday, and the one thing that she commented was the not RAGBRAI this last year, but when they were in Sergeant Bluff, the hotels would be reaching out constantly. We've got people staying here, they want to know what to do, where to eat, where they can shop. And so they just kept requesting that they bring more information out, like, hey, can you bring, different brochures out so that we've got some different things to hand out to people.
Definitely.
So that seems like it really falls in line with what we heard.
Yes, exactly.
Definitely, and then for Ragbri this year, that's why we created those little pocket maps. And then when you opened them up, there was 4 different tracks you could go to see, like shopping and dining and things like that, so people would know where to go and what to do while they were here. We could do a lot of advertising. So my lovely assistant is going to hand some of those out so you can take a look at that. But those were the visitor guides and then the pocket maps that we created. And
I don't want to detract from the website, because I think that's just amazing to have all of those resources and those lists at your fingertips whenever you need them.
Absolutely.
But it was just interesting to hear you mention that right after we had that conversation. I felt like that was really the direction to go in.
And then we are working in this next fiscal year. We will be working on visitor influencer program. So it will be like our front line, like at the hotels and at gas stations and things like that. So they're aware of what is going on in Sioux City and what there is to do in Sioux City, because there's nothing more frustrating than going into a hotel and listening to them talk, checking somebody in, and you ask, and what's there to do in Sioux City? Nothing. It's like, oh yes, there is. And so we want to be able to roll that program out. It'll come after the visitor guide, but it will be definitely something that we will do. As far as our planning for the future, the next 3 to 5 years, continuing to pursue local and state federal grants, data analysis and research, which we use to try to spend our dollars wisely for marketing, partnerships and collaborations with local businesses, hotels, restaurants, and stakeholders. So we have a cohesive visitor experience when people come into town, and then partner with regional and national tourism organizations to tap into those larger markets. Infrastructure and accessibility is something that we're looking at as far as planning to advocate for improvements in transportation infrastructure, airports, roads, and things to make our destination more accessible. And then to ensure the visitor amenities are obviously well maintained. Community engagement and education is really important for us as well, because we want to work with our local communities to ensure that they benefit from tourism and how they're and being engaged in that process about how we're deciding on doing our marketing. And then we want to educate residents and business about the importance of tourism and how to be a good host. Just like when somebody checks in, we want to make sure that they're being a good host by telling them about all the great stuff there is to do here. And then long-term sustainability, as far as developing a destination of where we want to be in 10 to 20 years, and ensure that growth is sustainable and that we remain appealing for future generations. And then we're going to continue to advocate for Sioux City and Western Iowa. We did have some really big events that we were working towards, and we were told 99%, 95%, it's coming. And either of the 2 big events came because the people on the eastern side of the state were complaining they didn't want to drive over here. So we are going to continue to work with the state tourism office, Iowa Travel Industry Partners, and any other people that want to work with us to advocate for our side of the state, because it doesn't matter that we don't maybe have many residents as they do. You need to bring things across the state. And then I'm going to show you one thing. Let me grab it. So when we go to these trade shows and meet with planners, we always do a follow-up email, and then as soon as we're done, another follow-up email, and then we send them a box of Sioux City goodies. So they're going to get, Jolly Time, they're going to get Palmer's, they're going to get some other things. So, but we always have to make sure that there's something else in there that makes us unique and stands out, because a lot of people have food and things like that. So because we love the logo, I love Sioux City logo, which was the logo when I was a kid, and that's why I still love it. We've got new shirts that we have to hand out, and these are the best things because these are new. So we've got socks that they say that I love Sioux
Dan
City on them.
loves sock.
And
There you
then
go.
our logo on the bottom. So we've gotten a lot of great responses from people about that, because not a lot of people are giving people branded socks from their communities, so.
Where can we get those socks?
Well, you could probably call our office, and we may, I don't know what the rules are as far as the city council and
Oh, I
accepting
have
gifts,
to, I have to
so.
pay for them.
Okay, so
have
just
to pay
call
for
me and I will.
everything.
They got
I
to
will
be
flip-
worth at least $10.99, right?
Oh, yeah, they
Yeah,
were,
Maybe even higher.
yeah, they were.
We
but-
can only, what, $2.99?
I think that needs.
So unless you all share them.
$2.95 is all we get. Yeah, share a
I don't think
sock.
we've taken our
Just-
5%
go.
inflation over the years.
I'll give you a call.
Just give us a call, but they're a really
I'm
fun
excited about
new
that.
addition to our arsenal of activities. And then we absolutely love the new sign, the Sioux City, this was me and my kids. A couple of weeks ago, I guess a month ago or so ago, my father passed away this summer. He's from this area, he was born in Sioux City, raised in Lamar's, but taught at Heelan for 10 years. And so we thought it was fitting to have his memorial service back here. So we went over to that sign, and it made a great, photo opportunity for me and my kids to be able to have something to remember Sioux City by. So do you all have any questions for me?
I have a comment. So first of all, I love that you have just brought that logo back, because that's the logo that was around when I was younger too. And I really appreciate it. And I think it's a more positive message that we can be putting out there. And definitely for branding, I think it makes this more unique. We're sending somebody that says, I love you, because we've got big hearts in Sioux City. So I appreciate that. I want to offer you a little bit of praise, because I remember the last update that we got from you. And what you heard from multiple council members was, people want to know where to go to find out what's going on. The calendar has always been a big thing. And you're taking charge of that and coordinating and collaborating with others to try and have kind of a citywide, community-wide calendar is really appreciated. Because I think we get that a lot. Well, what are we doing going on?
Right.
Where can I go tonight? And I think having one central location and somebody that's saying, hey, I'm taking this on, that speaks volumes. And so I really appreciate that you're doing that.
Thank you.
It's pretty cool, isn't it? I remember that logo too as a middle-aged man.
Thank you so
Late-
much.
Late
Great job.
Late what?
Late teen?
Late teens.
Late teen, yeah.
It's a lot of hard
Thank
work,
you,
and you
Christie.
guys have worked really hard, so
Yeah,
thank
good
you.
presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll go to items 4 through 15B, and they today constitute a consent agenda. Consider them to pass unanimously unless a separate roll call vote is asked for. You want to speak on an item that I'm reading, please come up as I read that item. If you want to speak on an item not on the agenda, please come up under citizen concerns at the end of the meeting. I'll move the consent agenda.
Second?
Reading of the November 6th City Council minutes. 5 is a resolution scheduling in a meeting on the authorization and loan disbursement agreement and the issuance of sewer revenue capital loan notes. 6 is a resolution accepting the lead hazard reduction grant. I'll move to delete that for this week.
Second?
O'Kane.
Aye.
Shaner. Aye. Scott.
Aye.
Waters.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
7 is a resolution adopting plans and specs for the West 8th Street reconstruction project. 8 is a resolution authorizing payment to Pinrow Construction for the Al Haynes Drive Water Main Extension Project. I want to go back to 7. Oh, you guys are on the engineering committee, but with the, I don't want to say financial condition because everybody will go nuts, but we need to begin to prioritize some of these projects if they can wait a year or two to catch our breath. And I guess I'm wondering, is this a project that of the utmost importance, or is it one that could wait a year or so?
Brittany Anderson, Senior Civil Engineer. This project was pushed from last year, so it is our priority this year. We have this one and 2 others scheduled for this summer. Of the 3, either this West 8th or Perry Lane could be pushed, but the third item, or the third project is South Cecilia, which has DOT funding on it, so that one would need to remain.
Does South Cecilia needs to be, I didn't understand.
It has DOT funding, so it would need to be the highest priority.
Can we move to defer this for just for 1 week and get a better answer, not from you, I understand, you work with engineering to get us a priority is what I'm saying.
Okay,
I mean with finance,
okay.
okay? I'd like to move it and defer it for a week.
Second.
Shaner. Aye. Scott.
Aye.
Waters.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
O'Kane.
Aye.
8 is a resolution authorizing payment to Penroe Construction for the Al Haynes Drive Water Main Extension Project. 9 is a resolution proposing to sell vacated Harris Street, Granville Street, and the alley between or adjacent to 3100 Harris Street. I move to delete.
Second.
I'm catching up on the one that you just asked to defer. All of the publication documents are scheduled for the 15th. Like, all of this is set to go to the journal, I believe.
Yeah,
So this is set to be posted the 15th.
well, they'll have to republish, right?
It's probably better just to delete it because I
Okay.
think we're going to have some dates that we need to look
Okay,
at in the
okay, we'll go
comments.
back to that. Anyway, where are we at on this one? On 9.
Did you
Aye.
second it?
I second it. yeah.
Okay. Scott.
Aye.
Waters.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
O'Kane.
Aye.
Shaner. Aye.
I'm going to go back to 7 and move to delete that because of the publication requirements. It won't work if we don't, so I'll move to delete 7 for right now.
Second.
Waters.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
O'Kane.
Aye.
Shaner. Aye. Scott.
Aye. 10 are actions relating to annual report. A is a resolution approving an IDOT City Street Finance Report. B is a motion accepting the effective fiscal and public policy committee annual report. 11 are appointments to boards and commissions. A is a motion appointing Shannon Sargent to the Parking and Skywalk System Board of Trustees. B is a motion appointing Andrew Tramp to the Wastewater Treatment Plant Reconstruction and Design Advisory Committee. 12 are actions relating to agreements and contracts. A is a resolution granting a permit to Fibercom to maintain underground cable near the Al Haynes and Discovery Boulevard. I got one question. How come MetroLink comes in, we never get any from them? I know they have a statewide charter, I get that. But these guys got to put, and I don't sell their bonds, so I don't care, but the bonds are not cheap. They're probably $100 at least a time. We make them post a bond for everything they do. Well, they got a blanket, I know, but they're still paying a fee for that. So why doesn't MetroLink? Did they have to?
MetroNet.
MetroNet, whatever, yeah.
No, I believe because they have a state franchise allowed to not, but I guess I would have to ask engineering how they're.
Yeah, I don't have to know the answer today, but it bothers me that these guys are posting a bond, so if they don't do it right, we can call their bond. But MetroLink can go around this town and
I didn't know there was, but I suppose it makes a difference if it's statewide or if it's regional.
because
Is that the
they don't want to
argument?
be governed by us. Sparklight did the same thing. They don't want to be governed by the city.
Correct, but the reason that Fibercom doesn't have to is because they're regional, not statewide. Is that right?
What reason Metro, whatever, doesn't have?
MetroNet,
The reason
because
that
they have a
Sparklight
franchise.
doesn't.
Or sorry.
Doesn't have to, is they all went
Fibercom
and got
has
state
to.
franchises.
Gotcha.
That would be
Get
interesting.
this verification.
Right, right. But I think you still have a per deal fee.
But are you saying Sparklight does and MetroNet doesn't have to?
Sparklight doesn't have to either. They got.
Oh, because they have the
used to have to have a city franchise, and when the state of Iowa, in their infinite wisdom, decided that cities were too difficult to deal with, they took it and made a statewide deal, which now we have no control, but yet
Right.
everybody gets angry at us when they don't do things right.
Correct.
You know, I think I got Kim Reynolds' cell phone. I might start giving it out, but anyway, let's let that go.
Yes.
12 are actions relating to agreements and contracts. A is a resolution granting permit. Oh, we already did that. I'm
We
sorry.
already did that one. Hey, Mayor, could I please go back to 10B, the effective fiscal and public policy? Teresa, was there someone that was going to give a report on that or not? On the annual effective fiscal and public policy committee annual report? You don't have to, but I thought there was something that was going to be,
Chair.
Teresa Fitch, Finance Director. That is just the annual report that we're required to submit each year. I can go over it if you have questions or.
just any highlights or anything you wanted to.
So we've changed from meeting each month to meeting quarterly unless necessary, or if there were other items that council had questions on. This past year, we did look at the grant management policy and the creation of the donation policy, which was at council last week for you guys to approve.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
We do have an agenda item, but if there's any other items you guys would like the committee to look at, please let Julie or myself know.
Okay.
We have one item that we're currently working on, but
Have the street naming applications too?
yeah, that was last year.
Oh, was it?
Well,
Time go.
yeah, we looked at it, the committee looked at it last year. Yeah, so.
No, that was probably wise to go to quarterly meetings.
Yeah.
With the.
Yeah, I mean, we
the
have
agenda.
added monthly meetings as we need them, but if we don't have any topics, it's made sense to go quarterly.
Okay.
We have a topic now that we're working on, though.
Yep,
Yep, thank you.
yep, no problem.
Thanks, Mayor.
Actions relating to personnel. A is a resolution amending the position classification manual and salary schedule by adopting an updated job description for the risk manager coordinator. B is a resolution amending the position classification manual and salary schedule by adding city clerk and customer service manager positions. C is a resolution amending the position classification manual and salary schedule by adding a lead customer service specialist and reclassifying one customer service specialist. D is a resolution amending the position classification manual by adopting an updated job description for the lead water service. E is a resolution amending the position classification manual by adopting an updated job description for the water service worker.
Mayor, I just
Yep.
wanted to check, Heidi, did we get 12B? I know we got hung up on 12A about that. I just wanted to make sure that got read.
Concrete Plus.
Yeah.
B is a resolution approving a contract to Concrete Plus for the Hamilton Boulevard Median Removal Project, 12B. Sorry about that.
Okay. I just wanted to check.
Passes 5-0. Recommendations of planning and zoning. 16 is a hearing and ordinance vacating a portion of Shields Avenue and Sacagawea Park. P&Z recommends approval. I'll move that.
Second.
Public hearing's now open. Mr. Gleiser, you're first.
Yeah, no, that motion passed with us 7-0.
Anyone to be heard? Hearing is now closed. Passes 5-0. Is anybody opposed to waiving the statutory rule?
No.
I'll move that.
Second.
Moore,
Aye.
O'Kane,
Aye.
Shaner,
Aye.
Scott,
Aye.
Waters.
Aye.
Move the second and third reading.
Second.
O'Kane,
Aye.
Shaner,
Aye.
Scott,
Aye.
Waters.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
17 is a hearing and ordinance rezoning 423 to 425 South Russin Street. P&Z recommends approval. I'll move that.
Second.
Hearing's now open. I should, go ahead.
Yeah, that also passed with us 7-0.
You guys understand what we did, right?